Thanks so much for joining us here on the CBN News Channel. I'm Ephraim Graham.
And I'm Charlene Israel. The showdown over union rights in Wisconsin could end soon. There is talk that a handful of Republican lawmakers there will break with the new governor and force a compromise. But 14 Democratic senators are still hiding out in Illinois, blocking a vote on the issue. Heather Sells has more.
The impasse in Wisconsin has captured national attention as it pits union rights against balancing the budget.
Democrat, Republican, all of us, this is important because we can't sustain this spending anymore. We can't.
Since the 90s, our salaries in Wisconsin, the average teacher salary has fallen all the way to 28th in the nation. We're below average.
Now there's talk that some Republican lawmakers may be open to compromise, even as their governor says he won't back down.
But again, we're broke. We got to balance the budget. And the only alternative is to say 5,500 state workers next budget could be laid off, 5,000 to 6,000 teachers and local government workers could be laid off. I don't want to lay anybody off, and I don't think that's a good alternative. So for us, we're going to stay on the side of saying, give them the tools, give them the modest opportunity for local governments as well as the state to balance their budget, and then we're going to stay firm on that.
Wisconsin Republicans say taking away collective bargaining rights is the only way to balance the budget. At stake, a $3.6 billion deficit. But Democrat lawmakers say no way, refusing to show up just to prevent a vote. Teachers have also come under criticism for walking off their jobs and shutting down schools by calling in sick. Students suspended for playing hooky might question the sight of doctors writing sick notes for protesters needing to explain their absence from work.
Do you think you could get in trouble? Really good about where I am right now.
Certainly. We think it's worth the risk.
Talk of compromise is now in the air. One idea being floated: take away collective bargaining rights for 2 years and then restore them. The Republican-controlled assembly is expected to meet tomorrow. It needs one Democratic vote to take up the issue. Heather Sells, CBN News.
Heather, thank you. In Washington, the Republican-controlled House of Representatives voted for massive spending cuts Saturday, slashing $61 billion from the federal budget in 7 months. The cuts include funding for the president's health care reform and blocking federal aid to Planned Parenthood. That victory for the pro-life community would cut $363 million from the abortion provider. It must still pass in the Senate, where Democrats are expected to block it. The budget confrontation could end up in a government shutdown, a scenario both parties want to avoid.
What I hope to happen is that we'll find a way to resolve this by reducing spending in a bipartisan fashion.
Congress has until March 4th to pass a budget.
Meanwhile, the Obama administration is maintaining protections for health care workers who have a religious or moral objection to performing abortions. But the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has stripped away some key provisions. It has kept the procedures for registering and investigating complaints by health care workers who say that they have been forced to perform a procedure against their conscience. But it has also limited the kinds of services medical personnel can refuse to perform under the Conscience Clause.
And joining us now with more from Washington is David Christensen, Senior Political Advisor for the Family Research Council. David, help us understand a little better just what impact these changes will have.
Well, the ultimate impact is that you may have an increase in discrimination by the federal government or state and local governments receiving federal funds against healthcare professionals who object to participating in abortion. It's not just performing abortion, but assisting in the performance of abortion. And one of the things that President Bush's regulations did was offer a broad definition and clarity to the conscience laws on what it means to assist in the performance of abortion. And so by removing those definitions, we have a less clarity. Second thing is the requirement to certify that you would comply with the conscience laws has been completely removed. So the ultimate impact may be increased discrimination against healthcare providers. A lot of healthcare providers will get out of the profession if they're forced to perform abortion. You don't want to see people in underserved areas, poor communities, losing doctors and nurses because of this kind of discrimination.
Under the changes, healthcare workers might have to provide forms of contraceptions that they consider tantamount to abortion. What will FRC and other groups do to help them?
It's a good question. We are working very hard to pass the Abortion Non-Discrimination Act, other conscience laws. Ultimately, we want to see these regulations implemented for people who think that Plan B or the new so-called emergency contraceptive Ella is an abortifacient, that they shouldn't have to prescribe those or give them to patients based on the conscience laws. Some of the conscience laws actually are not just specific to abortion, to any healthcare service you have an objection to. So it's very important to see that Congress act on this, and we're going to try to hold the Obama administration accountable when they say that their grants are going to actually make compliance necessary.
Real quickly before you go, I want to ask you, turning to the House vote for cutting funding to Planned Parenthood, is there any strategy to get the Senate to go along with that?
Yes, we're working with the minority leadership in the Senate. We're pushing for different senators, particularly pro-life Democrats, to basically make this a commitment that they're going to support this and that they won't go along with the budget unless there's no funding for Planned Parenthood.
Right. David Christensen, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much.
We turn now to the deadly battle for democracy in Libya. Protesters reportedly have taken control of the second largest city, Benghazi, and security forces fought for control of Tripoli's city center overnight. Snipers opened fire from rooftops and Muammar Gaddafi supporters fired shots from speeding vehicles with the dictator's photos on them. Gaddafi's son has warned Libya is not Egypt or Tunisia and said the protests could lead to civil war. So far, thousands have been wounded and at least 200 people have been killed.
Oh, my God. They are fighting the civilians here. They are crazy. They are going crazy here. I can't say a specific number, but unfortunately, yeah, there are like plenty of them, maybe more than 200. I'm not sure about the correct number, but people are, all the hospitals are full of, dead bodies. Even the fridges are full.
Meanwhile, protests continue in Bahrain, and in Yemen, thousands marched on the capital this weekend.
As protests rock dictatorships across the Middle East, the big question is, will they lead to democracy or more tyranny? CBN News asked former Soviet dissident Natan Sharansky his perspective on these earth-shaking events.
Natan Sharansky spent 9 years behind bars for opposing tyranny in the former Soviet Union. His imprisonment made him a universal symbol for those oppressed under dictatorships. He's optimistic about what's happening throughout the Arab world.
We have to understand that this revolt of Arab street against dictators is something natural, something which will inevitably happen. No dictatorship can keep the people under control all the time.
Since his release in 1986, Sharansky has championed democracy and spread his views through his influential book, The Case for Democracy. For too long, he says, the West has supported Arab dictators and now must support genuine democratic reform.
We will give all our support, we will give our recognition, we will give our money, but only on the condition of democratic reform.
But Sharansky says those reforms are much more than just free and fair elections.
Freedom, it's not about immediate elections. Freedom, it's free elections and a free society. And the most important thing that these democratic changes cannot happen one day. There have to be few years of democratic reforms, of building institutions.
He cites one dangerous example from 2006, when the U.S. State Department wanted Hamas to participate in elections. The result, Hamas won a majority in the Palestinian parliament and eventually took over the Gaza Strip, resulting in another dictatorship. Some warn the same thing could happen in Egyptian elections with the Muslim Brotherhood. The key, Sharansky says, is who's allowed to participate.
Everybody will be permitted to participate, but only those who accept the rules of democracy.
Sharansky believes the West can play a role, and he's got a recommendation for the U.S. Congress.
I would immediately now bring amendment to all our assistance to Egypt, saying that essential part of this assistance has to go to democratic institutions.
Sharansky is hopeful millions throughout the Middle East might find freedom.
If it will be done cleverly, but firmly by the leaders of the free world, I believe it is possible today that finally Arabs in Egypt and in the other countries will stop living in fear society.
Time will tell, and history will judge if Sharansky's hope will bear fruit. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.
The rapidly changing events in the Middle East and their impact on Israel is the focus of this week's edition of Stakelbeck on Terror. Terrorism analyst Eric Stakelbeck heads to Israel, where he talks to CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell. They will look at threats gathering against Israel and what the Egyptian revolution means for the Jewish state.
What's the sense here among Israeli officials? Do they see war in the near future?
Somebody said recently that if you say there's going to be war in the future, in near future in Israel, you're probably right. I think they do. And right now it's a critical time for the Israeli military. They're just going to get a new chief of staff in the next few days. Right. So he's going to have a lot of contingency plans, I'm sure, that he's developing. How are they going to confront, perhaps a multiple war on multiple fronts, from Hezbollah, from Iran, from Syria. And I wouldn't be surprised with the weakness of Egypt right now and then the vulnerability of Israel that something could happen in the near future.
You can watch Stakelbeck on Terror on the CBN News channel at cbnnews.com.
Coming up, the faith that fuels a NASCAR champion meet the youngest winner in the history of the Daytona 500.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
These are the greatest stories ever told. Presented by Academy Award winner Charlton Heston.
Thus saith the Lord of Israel, let my people go.
Join Charlton Heston as he travels the sacred lands of the Bible.
I'm going to take you with me on a journey exploring the stories in the Bible and the ancient land where they happened. This is said to be the very garden. This, the very rock where Jesus prayed for strength.
Now the Bible comes to life like never before. Time Life presents Charlton Heston's The Bible.
And Moses cast the tablets from his hands.
Praised by critics, this landmark TV series is now available on digitally remastered DVDs. You'll be inspired by the greatest stories from the Old and New Testaments, enhanced by historic works of art. Get Charlton Heston Presents the Bible on 4 DVDs for $49.99. Call with your credit card and save $10.
And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son.
And that's not all. You'll also get a free bonus DVD that takes you behind the scenes. And if you call in the next 10 minutes, we'll ship for free. That's an additional savings of nearly $7.
For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever.
Call now to get Charlton Heston's The Bible on 5 DVDs for just $39.99. Call in the next 10 minutes and we'll ship for free.
Now therefore go, and I will be with thee.
Call 1-800-748-5167 to order Charlton Heston Presents the Bible for $39.99 and receive free shipping when you call in the next 10 minutes with your credit card.
That was the reaction Sunday as Trevor Bayne captured the victory at the Daytona 500. Bayne is the youngest winner in the history of the Daytona 500, pulling off the win only one day after his 20th birthday. He finished 1.118 seconds ahead of Carl Edwards. CBN sports reporter Sean Brown was in the pits to record his reaction.
How does it know the Lord chose you to win today?
Man, God's just drawing us closer to Him in every experience, and that's what we prayed about before the race. Whether it was a good result or a bad result, we'd just be drawn closer. And He taught me something yesterday, in that race. And you never know what His plan is, but I can guarantee if you stick with Him, He's going to have something good for you.
This year's Daytona 500 had a record 74 lead changes among 22 drivers. It also had a record 16 cautions that knocked out many of the leaders.
Early rumblings are underway in the 2012 race for the White House. Probable presidential hopeful Tim Pawlenty is in Nevada today. The former Minnesota governor is meeting with the state's GOP operatives. Nevada is an early presidential primary state, and Pawlenty has been hinting for months he will make a run for the White House. Pawlenty recently wowed conservatives at CPAC in Washington by taking a tough stance against President Obama, saying he should stop apologizing for the country.
Jane Hampton Cooks fell in love with the history of the U.S. presidency when she worked in the White House for George W. Bush.
And now she's turned that passion into literature with her latest children's book coming out this President's Day. Paul Strand has a look.
Jane Hampton Cooks wants kids to be fascinated with our history and our presidents. In her new book, What Does the President Look Like?, Jane ties the evolution of image capturing to how Americans have come to see their presidents.
We're used to seeing images of our president every day, and even our first president on the dollar bill all the time. But imagine being alive in his time. Unless you met him in real life or saw him in portraits like these, you'd have no idea what your president looked like.
We found Jane at this church school in Vienna, Virginia, reading her new book and talking about the presidents with some kids there, including two of her boys.
So Austin, you can wear this hat.
It wasn't until Abe Lincoln that Americans began to see the actual real image of their president. Abe thought it was crucial to get out a photo of himself because opponents had made him look like such a backwoods buffoon in cartoons.
Matthew Brady took a photograph of him, and that really dignified Lincoln's image. He said to Matthew Brady at the inaugural ball, "You helped elect me president."
Jane told the kids why it was ironic that Silent Cal Coolidge had that nickname in that particular era of films.
Back in the 1920s, there was no sound at the movies. You couldn't hear anything. You could only see the pictures. And so it fit that the newsreels of Calvin Coolidge were silent, and his nickname was Silent Cal.
There's some humor, too, about FDR being the first president on TV.
He was the first president to go on television, but there were only 200 television sets in the entire country, and I think they were all in New York. So not very many people saw him. It wasn't in widespread use. It was a novelty.
But by the 1960 John Kennedy-Richard Nixon debate, the TV image had become an absolutely crucial factor in politics.
People who watched it on television thought Kennedy won because his whole persona came across so much better on television. But people who heard the broadcast on radio and didn't see it thought that Nixon's answers were better. So it really did make a big difference in that election.
The presidency, sometimes the image, is as important as the reality. Paul Strand, CBN News, Washington.
Up next, from horror to hope, how the infamous case of abortionist Kermit Gosnell is now turning the tide on behalf of the unborn in Philly.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come explore Jerusalem, where Jesus opened blind eyes. Visit the hills of Galilee, where Jesus fed the multitude. Stroll through Capernaum, where Jesus lived and taught and healed. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit www.goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
Endless pools are an incredible alternative to traditional pools, making it easy and inexpensive to swim at home. Call our toll-free number or visit our website. A free idea kit and DVD will be sent to your home so you can discover all the benefits of owning your own pool. Compared to traditional pools, endless pools are simple to install, easy to maintain, and economical to run. Our precision-engineered pools enable you to swim or exercise against a smooth current that adjusts to any speed and ability. Endless pools are perfect for year-round health and fitness, relaxation, and family fun. Our free idea kit and DVD will show you how easy it is for the whole family to enjoy a pool right in your backyard or home. An endless pool or an endless pool swim spa can become a showplace for your home. Call our toll-free number or visit the website to find out more about endless pools. The free idea kit will show you just how easy it is to be able to swim at home.
What makes the miracles of Jesus even more miraculous? Standing where they happened, in Israel. Come sail the Sea of Galilee, where Jesus calmed a raging storm. Experience Jerusalem, where Jesus restored a paralyzed man. Explore Capernaum, where Jesus spoke a centurion servant into health. To learn more about standing where it all happened in Israel, visit goisrael.com. Come visit Israel.
The governor of Pennsylvania is making sweeping changes to the agencies that oversee abortions there.
That after the shocking case of an abortionist who's now charged with murder. I recently traveled to Philadelphia for a closer look at this story.
Philadelphia is known as the city of brotherly love, but recent headlines have cast a negative shadow over the city. When authorities raided the clinic of abortionist Kermit Gosnell last February, They were shocked.
The grand jury went to the scene wearing hazmat suits. It was filthy.
According to the 261-page grand jury report, fetuses were stuffed inside a refrigerator. Gosnell and other clinic workers face 8 counts of murder. Authorities say Gosnell reportedly killed scores more, but destroyed the records.
Case after case, Dr. Gosnell and his assistants induced labor, forced the live birth of viable babies in the 6th, 7th, and 8th month of pregnancy, and then killed those babies.
One of Gosnell's patients died after being over-medicated. Tom Corbett is the state's new governor. The grand jury's report was released on his first full day in office. He has taken tough action against those who let this happen.
In some cases, I've accepted resignations. Others have been dismissed outright. Some are suspended while we investigate further, and we're not done.
Late-term abortions are illegal in Pennsylvania. The DA says Gosnell tried to get around the law by starting the abortions at a Delaware clinic, then completing them in Philadelphia. Pro-life pastors from across Delaware are pushing for action.
The grand jury has evidence of at least 6 patients who were treated in Wilmington, then had abortions at Gosnell's clinic.
We're looking at slaughterhouses. I'm not calling them clinics. They're slaughterhouses.
The National Abortion Federation, which provides training, has now suspended work with the Delaware clinic, a move that only came after the grand jury investigation. Adele Finnegan is director of the Southeast Pennsylvania Pro-Life Union. She recalls allegations from a client that Planned Parenthood frequently referred women seeking late-term abortions to Gosnell's clinic.
And then she said, if you were at Planned Parenthood, they wouldn't do some of the abortions for you, but they would tell you about 38th and Lancaster.
CBN News contacted Planned Parenthood of southeastern Pennsylvania about the charges. They declined our request for an interview, but released this statement. Planned Parenthood strongly condemns the alleged actions of Dr. Kermit Gosnell. Planned Parenthood has never referred any patient to Dr. Gosnell's practice. What authorities say was happening here at this clinic in Philadelphia has shocked and saddened the entire country. But it's what pro-lifers believe is continually happening across the country.
This is not the first time. It's one of the worst cases of abuse that you can see, abuse of power, abuse of the medical shingle.
Officials say state regulators had not inspected Gosnell's clinic in nearly 20 years and ignored 46 lawsuits filed against the clinic. Governor Corbett has now introduced changes designed to protect the health and safety of women who use abortion facilities in the future. Among the new rules, abortion clinics must be inspected at least once a year. Clinics that fail to meet basic health standards will be closed. Abortion facilities will be added to the same Department of Health system used to monitor hospitals and other medical facilities. Pastor Herb Lusk of Greater Exodus Baptist Church runs a pregnancy care center in Philadelphia.
This is our answer to the house of horrors that took place in Philadelphia that everybody in the country knows about now.
His Hope Center counters that culture of death.
I'm just thankful that we have a center here in Philadelphia that will navigate poor mothers and people who are expecting to places where they can have safety.
It's convenient. They're wonderful. I actually like it. I like coming over here, so.
Meanwhile, Gosnell is being held without bail and could face the death penalty.
It's not enough to prosecute the wrongdoing. We have to change the culture. That starts here. It starts now.
All encouraging signs to pro-lifers in Philadelphia and across the country, but they admit the battle is far from over.
The abortion industry is a very powerful economic machine. It's about money. The only thing that can stop that is people who are willing to do whatever they can in order to stand up for those children who are unborn, who can't speak for themselves.
You know, Ephraim, the new governor there, Tom Corbett, he is really getting to the heart of this issue. He's looking back and seeing over the years that this clinic was not inspected. Who looked the other way? Is this some sort of conspiracy? Investigation continues.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
Millions of women worldwide love Bare Minerals.
This is smooth, it's nice, and it covers. I like that.
Only Bare Minerals looks like beautiful bare skin, while it covers whatever you want it to. And now you can get our latest kit with our totally new, totally spill-proof Click Lock Go foundation. For over 75% off retail, our new kit comes with Bare Minerals foundation in the shade that's just right for you. Warmth for a healthy glow. Mineral Veil, the ultimate finishing touch, and Bare Minerals Flawless Application Brush. Call now and get 3 full-size gifts worth $57.95 free. Purchased separately, you'd spend over $120. Our original Get Started kit was a great deal at 2 payments of $29.99. But now you can get all this for just 1 payment of $29.99. Save over $90 and get a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call 1-800-376-4174. Ask how you can receive this handy compact. Call 1-800-376-4174 now.
It's impossible to close an open can with a pop top. Open cans spill in the fridge. What a mess. And open cans lose their fizz. What a waste. Introducing Bottle Top. It turns your can into a bottle with the snap of a cap. Open metal cans can't travel. What a waste. Bottle Top turns your can into a bottle that's perfectly portable. You can't do this with an open can. Bottle Top lets any soda keep its carbonation. Look, bugs are gross, but Bottle Top protects your drink from insects. When you're done drinking, just pop it off. Rinse under hot water and reuse. Bottle Top keeps drinks from spilling. Now get 6 colored Bottle Tops for just $10. Call now and get 6 more. Plus, we'll send you the Can Top Popper. Just pay separate shipping and handling. You get 12 amazing Bottle Tops, plus the Can Top Popper, all for just $10.
Call 1-800-377-9176. But hurry, call now. We're giving away a bonus 6 more Bottle Tops and the Can Top Popper with today's orders. That's 1-800-377-9176. Call now.
And finally today, imagine having a winning lottery ticket. Most people would quickly redeem their winnings, but that wasn't the case for one North Carolina couple.
That's right. They held on to their $1 million ticket until the day before it was set to expire. Raleigh Hill purchased the winning Mega Millions ticket back in August. A few weeks later, he realized his ticket was a match. And a few weeks after that, he finally told his wife, Erin, about the winnings. She wanted to claim the prize. He wanted to wait. The main reason for the delay, Raleigh didn't want the attention that comes along with winning $1 million. Many find that situation hard to believe.
There's no way I could do it. That's a lot of money.
I don't think I would do that if I had a winning ticket. I think I'd cash it in as soon as possible.
And to keep the ticket safe, Raleigh hid it in different places around his house and even at work. At one point, he thought he had lost it, but then remember, he hid it in a shoebox. After taxes, the couple ended up taking home about $640,000. Wow. I don't know if I could have had the perseverance or the tenacity to.
Definitely not. Definitely not. That is going to do it for this hour of the CBN News Channel. You can find more of today's top headlines along with exclusive coverage of the issues you care most about at cbnnews.com.
You can also stay up to date with us through Facebook and Twitter. Hope you'll join us next time. Have a great day, everybody. God bless.
Fresh, wholesome juice. There's nothing like it. But until now, you had to stress and strain and make a huge mess to get just a little bit of juice. But not anymore, thanks to the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer. You can drop in whole vegetables, whole fruits, apples, oranges, celery, cucumbers with no chopping, no slicing, no struggling. And thanks to the Power Juicer's revolutionary patented extraction technology, you can get up to 30% more juice than those other juicers. Doctors recommend we get 5 to 9 servings of fruits and vegetables every day. With the Power Juicer, you'll be drinking your recommended daily allowance in just seconds. And the pulp from the extra large pulp catcher can be used to make pasta sauces, healthy desserts, and much more. The Power Juicer is dishwasher safe, so cleanup's a breeze, and the powerful motor is guaranteed for life. Order the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer now for just 2 easy payments of $49.90. And as part of this special TV offer, we'll also send you this amazing recipe guide filled with over 60 of Jack's favorite recipes. Try the Jack LaLanne Power Juicer in your home risk-free for 30 days. If you're not completely satisfied, send it back for a full refund of the purchase price, no questions asked. Call now.
I always wore a mask. I would never let anyone see what I really felt inside. My whole life, all I wanted to hear was that I love you and I want you. I just realized all of the horrible things that I've done in the past to feel loved and accepted. They were fleeting. It didn't matter. The relationship that I wanted my whole life was right there for me. And it was Jesus.